10 shillings every 4 minutes. Deposit, play and win with Mega Dollar. Big game for big winners.
OMG, Jill, umerudi?
Did I just say OMG?
Squeeze pia mio lugha naielewa.
Shiro, where's my baby?
I dare you jaribu kunipiga.
Mike, apologize to Shiro now.
Or else what?
Don't you dare raise your voice at me. Why are you rattling with everyone?
It's simple. I call it the Joel's effect.
Now tell me, what jobs does my dad tell you to go and do for him?
You really want to know?
I wonder how your friendship with Jill will be like when she finds out that you're the one who took out her uncle.
You wouldn't dare rat me out to jail, Paul.
How do you even live with all these things happening? Unishingiaje hizi mastaff zote?
Paul, I'm the string that puts all this together.
Bishop Margaret Wanjiru of Jesus is Alive Ministry invites you every Tuesday at 10 p.m. for spiritual uplifting messages in The Glory is Here. Join Bishop Margaret Wanjiru as she ministers the Word of God. You cannot afford to miss it.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast. I'm Victor Muyakane. For a glimpse of what we have collated for you, here are the highlights.
I am glad that the rest of senior officials have been made, and I can tell you that there are more on the way. I want officials, particularly senior ones who are directly implicated in corruption, to have no place in my administration, and for them to go where they belong, which is in jail.
More senior government officers set to be arrested, while procurement heads will be subjected to lie detectors as the war on graft intensifies.
Have enjoined our brothers in the opposition by shaking hands with the Honorable Raila Odinga, so that together as a country we can now focus on the progress.
Tupigane na ukabila, tupigane na umaskini, tupigane na ufisadi, ili tuweze kuimarisha taifa letu.
Calls for unity of purpose reverberate during this year's Madaraka Day celebrations. And a city deserted as Nairobians keep off the central business district. Now, Susan Thuku and I will be taking you through tonight's bulletin, and later on, our very own Daniel Wahome, the sports maestro, will take you through the day's sports as well. We would like to invite you to take part in this news bulletin by sharing your views and reviews on the news, as I like to call it. You can send in your messages through the SMS line at the top corner of your screen right now, which is 22162. Send in your messages starting with the word NewsHour, and I'll be happy to read them out loud in the course of this news bulletin. For those of you who prefer the digital world, please send in your messages through our Twitter handle, which is at KBC Channel 1, and feel free to tag me at Muyakane. And now, once again, I'll be happy to read through your tweets and sample them live on air. With that out of the way, we begin our news in Meru. all heads of procurement across government ministries, agencies and parastatals will undergo vetting that will include being subjected to lie detectors as part of the government's efforts to tame corruption and wastage in government. President Kenyatta, in his Madaraka Day speech, supported ongoing efforts that have seen the arrests of senior government officials, warning that more will be arrested for engaging in corrupt activities. President Kenyatta, however, appeared to oppose ongoing clamor for constitutional changes, saying that they are not an end in themselves.
Following a raft of scandals that have hit the government in the recent days, it was obvious that top on President Kenyatta's agenda during his speech at the 55th Madaraka Day would be the fight against corruption. Already, senior officials in the Ministry of Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs and the NYS Department have been arraigned in court to face charges of corruption. But public anger has been growing, with activists organizing demonstrations to put pressure on the president to take more decisive actions in the war against graft. And in what could send shockwaves in public service, as part of the ongoing war against corruption, President Kenyatta announced that heads of procurement in ministries, agencies and parastatals will undergo vetting that will include polygraph tests to gauge their integrity.
Those who shall fail the vetting will stand suspended. I expect this exercise to be concluded before the start of the new financial year 2018-2019. And in the coming days, you will hear of other tougher actions that will be taken by my government.
The president hailing the arrests of senior government officials last week, who include Youth Affairs PS Lillian Omolo and NYS Director General Richard Dubai, while at the same time warning that more senior officials would be arrested in connection with various corrupt dealings in government.
I am glad that the rest of senior officials have been made, and I can tell you that there are more on the way. I want officials, particularly senior ones, who are directly implicated in corruption, to have no place in my administration, and for them to go where they belong, which is in jail.
The president tasked agencies charged with investigating and prosecuting those accused of corruption to hasten their efforts so as to restore confidence amongst members of the public in the war against corruption.
Their work will bear fruit when the judiciary also responds by ensuring the frivolous and obstructive use of the court system to avoid responsibility will no longer be allowed. Like colonialism was defeated, so too we shall defeat corruption.
NASA leader Raila Odinga and Deputy President William Ruto supporting the president's call for a unified approach to Kenya's challenges.
We have enjoined our brothers in the opposition by shaking hands with the Honorable Raila Odinga so that together as a country we can now focus on the progress, the development of our country, and unite against wastage, mismanagement and corruption.
Tupigane na ukabila, tupigane na umaskini, tupigane na ufisadi, ili tuweze kuimarisha taifa letu. Vijana wapate kazi, wakina mama wapate kazi, hata wajane wapate kazi.
But with lieutenants of Raila Odinga insisting on a constitutional referendum as part of a unity pact, the president would for the second time oppose the clamor for changes to the law, saying it was not a priority.
The work we are called to do is to build trust and then change hearts and minds. We have many laws in Kenya and a fine constitution. It is not the letter of our law and constitution that will get us to our destination. It is the spirit that we have, or the spirit of the law and the constitution, that will get us
the president would make a case for his Big Four agenda, which he said are a realistic shot in empowering Kenyans through creation of jobs and improving of Kenya's healthcare.
In pursuit of universal healthcare, we are extending health insurance to every household. That way, medical emergencies will stop being the threat to the family prosperity and livelihood that they are today.
John Jacob Kuria, Channel 1 News.
Now, the country's political leadership has yet again vowed to champion long-lasting unity that has recently been threatened by political competition. Led by President Kenyatta, key players in the political landscape, including Deputy President William Ruto and NASA leader Raila Odinga, have undertaken to collectively spearhead efforts to bond the country, warning that Kenya stands in danger of ruin should they continue with a heated political rivalry.
Forgiveness, and I tender my apology.
A day after President Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga formally roped in their deputies William Ruto and Kalonzo Musyoka respectively to the Building Bridges initiative, the leading political figures have affirmed their commitment to a united country. Addressing the nation during the 55th Madaraka Day celebrations in Meru, President Kenyatta regretted that over the years, political rivalry has threatened the country's well-being.
Every 5 years during our elections, destructive divisions emerge that threaten our stability. Some political leaders have made their careers dividing our people, not bringing them together. This is the truth, and we need to deal with it as leaders as well as citizens.
He cited the state of affairs as the reason behind his unity deal with his erstwhile political nemesis Raila Odinga.
A house divided against itself cannot stand, let alone prosper. We cannot allow political competition to divide us anymore. We cannot allow political competition to divide us, even more because we created Kenya to rise to the heights, not to be in fear every electoral cycle.
His sentiments receiving support from the ODM leader, who insists that discord is the only impediment standing in Kenya's way to progress.
Ugonjwa, umaskini na ujinga. Miaka 55 yale maadui wamo ama hawamu. Wameongeza nguvu, wameongeza nguvu. Hiyo ndio sababu juzi baada ya sisi kushindana na kupigana na ndugu yangu, tuliketi chini na tukaamua wakati imewadia, wanawake miaka 55 tumekuwa tunapigana tu hapa na pale. Kushikana, tuungane pamoja, tuwalete wa Kenya pamoja.
Feeling revitalized by the renewed push to bring the country together, Deputy President William Ruto affirmed that there was no going back in the ongoing Building Bridges initiative.
Indeed, Your Excellency, 5 years ago, identify tribalism or ethnicity, hate and disunity as the factors that undermined our independence, our nationhood, our unity, and became a threat to our development. And as a result, Your Excellency, you rallied all of us on the call to unite the country, bring all communities together.
Together, the three leaders undertook to spearhead the drive that will enhance national unity. Eric Biegon reporting for Channel 1 News.
Now, the anti-corruption clarion call reverberated across the country as regional administrations marked this year's Madaraka Day. President Kenyatta's resolve to finally slay the dragon of corruption has appeared to find resonance among county governors.
Pomp and color characterize Madaraka celebrations across all the 47 counties as Kenyans from all walks of life brace the scorching sun to follow proceedings marking Kenya's 55th year of self-rule. In Kajiado, Governor Joseph Olelenku said the president's stand warning to corrupt leaders should be supported across board. It was the same script, different cast in Nyeri County, with area Governor Mutahi Kahinga taking the chance to warn county officials that those who will be found culpable of looting public funds will be dealt with firmly. Sentiments echoed by Nyeri Town MP Ngunjiri Wambugu. In Kakamega County, Governor Wycliffe Oparanya hit out at influential individuals who he said have been importing maize and supplying it to NCPB at the expense of farmers.
Similarly, the cartels responsible for the maize scam at the National Cereal and Produce Board should never be allowed to get away with it through their godfathers in powerful positions in government.
The effects, if the handshake were felt in Kisumu, where Kenyans were urged to embrace peace and support newfound unity between President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga. Political leaders from the region saying the country has experienced steady economic growth since the two leaders embraced each other.
Na tukitaka kujenga Kisumu, lazima tufanyeni kazi bega kwa bega. Tukiongozwa na mheshimiwa rais wetu Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, na sisi kama Wakenya kwa jumla tunaunga mkono viongozi wetu Raila Odinga na ndugu wetu bwana Uhuru Kenyatta.
Celebrations in Garissa County were marked amid reassurance from the county commissioner Joshua Chipcheying that locals will not be harassed by security personnel in the area as they continue to observe the holy month of Ramadan. Chipcheying was reacting to comments by leaders on disappearance, allegations of an imam in Liboi, and harassment of security officers at the Tana Bridge. Police barrier says security operations were paramount in the wake of new terror alerts issued by police Wednesday, with reports indicating increased activities and entry of terror suspects along porous Kenyan-Somalia borders used as pathways.
Police officers have clear instructions on how they are supposed to do. Kama kuna overseers officer ambaye amefanya kando na ile utaratibu, pengine tunadili na hiyo officer kama binafsi. Tunakaa tunaweka karibu 15 kila jioni hapa wanafanya patrol ili watu wawe na Ramadhani njema. Tunashirikiana. So tukiwa na one incident isichukuliwe kama ni police position.
Elsewhere, residents of Nakuru County have been cautioned over betting craze. Area County Commissioner Joshua Kanatha, who led locals in marking Madaraka Day celebration, says the County Security Committee has already commenced investigations into the unlicensed companies. According to Kanatha, illegal betting enterprises have triggered crime and made a considerable number of families dysfunctional in recent months. In Narok County, the celebrations are observed at Nkoilale grounds, with Governor Samuel Ole Tunai renewing his administration's commitment to ensure Jubilee's agenda succeeds.
Na sisi executive tutashirikiana wote kwa sababu lengo kubwa ni kwamba mwananchi ambaye hako hapa Nkoilale na sehemu zingine aweze kupata maendeleo, service delivery.
In Kisii County, Regional Commissioner Godfrey Kigochi has given public notice to grassroots state agencies to collaborate with the county management in the wake of increased cases of murders and suicides. Addressing this year's Madaraka Day celebrations at Itirio Primary School grounds, Kigochi attributed the increase of mortality rates to land disputes and illegal electricity connection, said socioeconomic factors can be addressed through coordinated efforts.
Wale ambao wanahusika, nyinyi ambao the chief na assistant chief na wale wengine, tusaidiane kwa upande huo kwa sababu we are getting a lot of complaints. Na mnajua kwamba stima is very dangerous. Inaua na imeua na mmesikia imeua. Ni issue hapo.
Meanwhile, Busia County Commissioner Michael Tialal has warned government officials who are sleeping on their jobs that they risk losing them. Speaking during the Madaraka celebrations, Tialal noted that there is need for government officers to serve residents with equality, regardless of the religion, race, and tribe. In Nairobi, political leaders drawn from the city's Eastlands region took the time to support the government initiative to issue title deeds to landowners. Beneficiaries of the titles include land acquired through site schemes, land buying companies, the National Social Security Fund, civil servant housing schemes, those in informal settlements and public facilities. Elsewhere, West Pokot County Commissioner Apollo Kelo has issued a stern warning against political groups in the county who have been in recent past engaged in protests and violence, leading locals in marking Madaraka Day celebrations at Makutano Stadium. Okelo said security personnel in the county were closing in on those fueling unrest in the county.
Watu wanapigana, watu wanarushiana mawe. Sasa mwekezaji gani atakuja katika West Pokot kuweka rasilimali yake hapa, mali ya vita? So wale watu wanakuwa na hizo vikundi, tafadhali tuwache.
Madaraka Day celebrations in Kiambu County were marred by ugly scenes at the Ndumberi Stadium. Trouble started when beneficiaries of the ongoing rehabilitation were invited to the podium. Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu vowing that the ongoing crackdown on illicit grills will continue until the ban is completely eradicated from the region. Linus Moshigadi for Channel 1 News.
Now, the Madaraka Day national celebrations in Meru were briefly dampened following two separate incidences in which at least 20 people were injured. In one incident, there was a stampede involving several people, and in a separate incident, a group of men who had climbed a tree to follow the fanfare from a vantage position were injured after the tree they had perched on broke one of its branches. Friday morning dawned, and with it hundreds of Kenyans, mainly drawn from Meru County and its environs, who thronged the Kinoru Stadium. The sights and scenes were akin to the proverbial circus coming into town. It was the first time the national event was being held in Meru County. It was an opportunity for the locals to closely interact with their national leaders. And for others, the fanfare that comes with the event was what motivated them to throng the stadium. But as the excitement was building, misfortune struck, as anxious Kenyans fought to gain access into the stadium, leaving several people injured. Moments later, another disaster. A group of men who had climbed a tree outside the grounds after failing to secure space inside were injured as a tree branch, unable to hold their weight, came tumbling down. The injured were rushed to Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital. Medics at the hospital say that they suffered minor injuries. Among the invited guests were government ministers, the heads of three arms of government, the former Prime Minister, as well as South Africa's Deputy President, David Mabuza.
Msafara, Mheshimiwa Rais pamoja na msafara wake utakuwa umeshaondoka hapa Kinoru Stadium.
Now, we had a bit of a problem with that, but no harm, no foul. Still, reaching out to you, let us know what you think about the stories that we've aired so far. How was Madaraka Day for you at home, and where were you, in the course of the day? In Nairobi, the streets were clean. Nobody was there. Hardly anyone showed up to the CBD. Where were you? Let us know what you think. Let us know where you were, and let us know what this day means to you in this era. We take a short break. We'll be right back with more.
The Easy Banking app is your bank anywhere, anytime. Everything you do at the bank is on Easy Banking app. You can use the app to send money, pay bills, buy and pay for goods and services, access easy loans, check the status of your account, save for future goals, and so much more. And now you can enjoy an even better banking experience with the just updated Easy Banking app. Loaded with a great suite of powerful features, so you're always in control of your banking lifestyle wherever you are. Download the Easy Banking app from Google Play Store or App Store and link your Equity Bank account. If you do not have an Equity Bank account, open one hapo from the app. Easy Banking. Experience convenience in life.
Je, waweza fanya nini kwa dakika 4? Na mega dola. Unaweza pika chef. Na mega dola. Kila kitu ni mega. Waweza pika ugali. Na mega dola. Pesa hapa ni mega. Na mega. Labda waweza fua nguo. Ni mega. Na mega dola. Ama unaweza tengeneza milioni 30. 4 minutes are enough to win big with Mega Dollar. Just go to Lipa na M-Pesa, select Pay Bill, enter business number 2958888, enter account name KBC, deposit 10 shillings or more, enter your PIN and press OK, then choose 10 numbers from 1 to 80 and send to 29588, and you can win up to 30 million shillings every 4 minutes. Deposit, play and win with Mega Dollar. The big game for big winners.
Serikali wewe kuchikama na umana ulimi ulisema ilikuwa inamea sana mpaka ukaambua lazima itolewe, si ndio?
Kalikuwa kameanza kumea. Ikabidi sasa itolewe juu ilikuwa inaniletea shida.
Nikieleza hii serikali ile uchungu ulikuwa unasikia kwa tumbo ni kwamba tuligundua maini yako imeanza kumea nywele. Ndio pia ilibidi bia tutoe. Takuwa nidanganya. Tunataka kueleza hii mahakama. Ile surgery tulifanya ni ya kichwa. Tuligundua iko shida na kichwa kwako. Angalia vile manywele inakaa. Mheshimiwa, tulifanya surgery ya kichwa. Ile fitu tulibata ndani ya kichwa. Moshi ya mawe ilitupiga pa.
Now, it was business as usual for most traders within the country's capital, Nairobi, as attention, of course, shifted to Kinoru Stadium in Meru for the Madaraka Day celebrations. Traders were the hardest hit with the human traffic within the central business district at a bare minimum. But as Brenda Zederedido reports, some sectors, like the public transport industry, took advantage of the mad rush of Kenyans to their respective rural destinations to make a killing.
The 55th Madaraka Day celebration was characterized by lots of outdoor fun, quality time with friends and family, as well as long-distance driving. In Nairobi County, it was a beehive of activities at different bus terminals as passengers were left stranded due to lack of transport. From Machakos Country Bus Station, North Rift Shuttle along Fangano Lane to Great Rift Shuttle along Mfangano Street, the situation was the same.
Nataka kusafiri asubuhi ya leo, nimeona magari hakuna. Ningependa tena kuongojea mpaka jioni, nataka kufika Kitare. Kama ikitawezekana, hao wenye wamiliki wa magari waongeze magari. Tafadhali ukiangalia upande huu mwingine watu wamejaa kila pahali. Na hatuna magari ya kusafiri siku ya leo.
Kufika nimefika hapa 7:30 na nikakata ticket, lakini sijapata gari, na tarajia pengine nitapata afternoon hours.
For hours, these passengers were left stranded with no signs of boarding a public service vehicle to their destination, leaving others with no option but to cancel their weekend plans.
Mimi niliingia hapa saa moja. Nikuja nikata ngari shilingi 800. Na mpaka saa hii sijapata ngari.
Kuanzia saa 1 tutakuwa na gari. Lakini watu tumefanya mpango, gari zitoke pande ile zikiwa na watu wachache. Tukifika hapa tunachukua hao watu kama 1000 hivi wako standard size.
By jioni itakuwa imereduce ama kesho asubuhi kwa sababu hii si likizo refu, ni siku 3 tu peke yake.
The management of some public service vehicles choosing to make a killing by hiking fares.
Pia imeongezeka kidogo. Ilikuwa 8 sasa ni 1000 ama 1100.
Kwa hii North Rift naona hawajaongeza sana. Ni ile lakini kwa hizi zingine private imeshaongezeka mara 2.
But all others were cashing in money during the celebrations. For some business traders in some recreational joints, the decision by the government to devolve the Madaraka Day celebrations to other counties brought misfortunes to them. Paul Madenge, a trader at Uhuru Park grounds, says Madaraka Day celebrations has always seen traders here make losses due to lack of customers.
Iko chini juu ya hizo pension kupelekwa other counties. Sasa ikiletangwa within at least wakitoka kwa attendizo za Uhuru ukamingia pa direct. At least unakuta tana iko juu lakini leo iko down.
The historic Uhuru Park grounds remained deserted for the better part of the day, unlike the 25th and 31st December, when the recreational ground is always packed. Just like Madenge, traders were left with no option but to start walking around, persuading potential customers to use their services.
Ukiongeza yani watu wataogopa bei, wajua wako wadogo, wataogopa bei. Sasa tuna ile bei ya kawaida.
The Central Business District was deserted for the better part of the day, but that did not deter business owners from opening their shops. When it came to security of Kenyans within the Central Business District, nothing was left to chance. Brenda Zeda, Rajido, Channel 1 News.
Thousands of Kenyan pilgrims, mainly drawn from the Catholic and Anglican faiths, have flocked Namugongo in central Uganda for the annual Uganda Martyrs celebrations, and which of course draws pilgrims from East and Central Africa. The Namugongo Shrine is located about 15 kilometers east of Kampala city, and it's where more than 32 Catholic and Anglican martyrs were burnt alive on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga II on the 3rd of June 1886, of course for refusing to denounce their faith.
It is a sea of humanity as Christians from across the region converge in Namugongo for the annual event meant to honor Christians who were persecuted because of their faith at the Malaba border. Thus on their way for the event, saying it will provide an opportunity to pray for Kenya, besides praying for religious leaders tasked with offering spiritual guidance for their followers.
Iko maana kubwa sana kwa Wakristo wale wanaamini Kristo. Iko tunaenda hata kuombea nchi yetu. Tunaenda kuombea wenzetu na kuombea nchi yetu.
Father Patrick Afue of the Catholic Diocese of Nyahururu, reiterating the importance of the event for the Christian fraternity within the region.
Together with the Christians, we are going to celebrate that big day in Uganda, and also it's a pilgrimage for us so that we can pray as Christians together, and we believe that every time we pray, God always answers our prayers.
The pilgrimage comes at a time when Ugandan authorities are battling to screen each of the thousands of guests trooping to the Namugongo Shrine, including from neighboring Democratic of Congo, where an outbreak of Ebola has been reported.
No confirmed case of Ebola in Uganda. Media reports of reported cases in Kitugum and Kampala districts are not correct. Any reported case will, however, be investigated promptly, and the public will be informed accordingly.
The Namugongo Martyrs Shrine is a painful reminder for Christians of the dangers that faced early missionaries in Uganda, where they faced persecution in the face of growing popularity. It is said that Christianity had widely spread in Uganda, and some people were no longer respecting King Kabaka Mwanga. Angry with the messengers of God, the king ordered the killing of 32 Anglican and Catholic believers who were therefore killed in Namugongo on Thursday, the 3rd of June, 1886. The Ugandan martyrs were killed are always remembered every year on the 3rd of June, with many Christians from different corners of the world assembled to the Namugongo shrines to honor them.
Over 600 families who will be displaced to pave way for the construction of the proposed Karumenu Dam have vowed to oppose the project unless their concerns are factored in. The families claim that the architects of the project have ignored the plight despite numerous efforts to reach the concerned authorities.
The construction of a multi-billion shillings water dam in Gatundu North constituency may delay after more than 600 families who were expected to leave the area to pave way for its construction vote to remain put pending their fully compensation. According to locals, the government has not factored their concerns in the compensation plan, bearing in mind that their lives will be affected by the planned relocation. Gatundu North Deputy County Commissioner Frederick Martin Muli urging them to be patient as the government works on finer details.
We are very happy and we are embracing the dam, but we don't want the common Mwananchi to suffer. We want everything to go in the right way, and we are aware that maybe things have not been going in the right direction. Kindly help us rectify and fight against anything that's going to hurt the people.
Lakini nataka muwe na subira. Kama iko maneno ndio tumekuja kama viongozi. Hakuna maneno yote ambao viongozi wakikaa chini itaweza kutushinda. Tutaweza kukaa chini na kufanya nini? Utafuta suluhisho.
Affected landowners say the compensation plan was to be settled in 2 phases.
Pesa yote kila mtu ni kama amefanya nini? Amelipwa, na hiyo shamba iweze kununuliwa kabla survey haijakanyaga kwa kila mmoja wenu. Ndio tunasema surveyors. Na ndio nilikuwa nataka CEO au hapa. They move with speed. Waenda kwa ile area nyingine. Waweza kufanya zapi na waweza kufanya mapi. Na waweke pikoni. Ndio sasa valuation ianze. Tukijua valuation sasa tunaweza kujua value ya shamba hili kiasi fulani ili tuweze kulinganisha na value ya mahali tunataka kwenda.
The 24 billion shillings Karumenu Dam is meant to serve and provide drinking water to 850,000 households in Kiambu and Nairobi counties. Linus Moshegadi for Channel 1 News.
Tana River County is developing an action plan to counter violent extremism as authorities in the region move to counter youth radicalization. In Kitui, a storm is brewing over the management of minerals amid calls for inclusive talks to ensure that the local community benefits from the resource. Details of these and other highlights in the county news briefs.
A forum hosted by the Kenya Community Support Center and the National Counter-Terrorism Center, bringing together leaders from Tana River County, resolved to develop an action plan to counter the effects of violent extremism.
Vizuri kuleta wanajamii pamoja wajadiliane umuhimu wa kuwa na action plan yao. Hii action plan ni mfumo tu ambao utaweza kuleta wanajamii wote, stakeholders pamoja, wazungumziane ni vipi watakapo anzisha mikakati.
Sisi tukipigana mara nyingi huwa ni mifugo, ni shamba, mkulima na mfugaji. Lakini chunguza, si chanzo huwa si watu wa Tana River.
Organizers of the event expressing fears that a youth group could be engaging in terrorism activities after a research conducted by the Kenya Community Support Center identified several areas in the county as terrorism hotspots. Meanwhile, the government has pumped 9 billion shillings to finance a solar project aimed at reducing the cost of electricity in Kilifi and Mombasa counties. The project will see Baricho Waterworks Company reduce the cost of pumping electricity by 400 million shillings annually.
We have explored alternative ways of trying to get alternative power from sunshine, from wind and other sources.
Separately, an initiative to restore lasting peace in Laikipia, Isiolo and Samburu counties has been launched. The program, spearheaded by Peace Corps Kenya, saw 12 men and 12 Morans from members of the two warring communities appointed to lead the peace efforts.
Hao ndio tuliweza kuwatenga na tukawapeleka katika peace training zetu kuweza tu kuzungumza hali ilivyo miaka 30 iliyopita.
In Kitui, a storm is brewing over the management of minerals amid calls for inclusive talks to ensure local community benefits from the resource. Youth leaders have challenged elected leaders to engage with the county government for the sake of driving the region's economic growth.
Ni mambo ambayo yanapaswa kupewa nafasi. Kuna mambo mingi ambayo sisi kama wanarika tunaangalia na tunaona ya kwamba hakika tumepata governor mwenye atatusaidia.
Elsewhere, small-scale farmers from Gatundu North constituency are counting losses after velvet monkeys invaded their farms. The monkeys, believed to have migrated from neighboring Murang'a County, where an operation to flush them out is underway, have invaded their farms, leaving a trail of destruction. In Turkana, transport along the Kitale-Lodwar Highway has resumed after hours of paralysis that had negatively affected the economy of the region and its environs. Operations resumed at midnight, just hours after the Petroleum and Mining Cabinet Secretary John Munyes toured the area. And political leaders from across the political divide want those found culpable of misappropriating public funds prosecuted. The leaders are adamant that individuals listed in recent graft scandals in various government departments must face the full force of the law.
Hata kama tumehurumiana, hakuna kuhurumia mwizi. Hata kama mwizi atahurumiwe, ile pesa amechukua ya umma arudishe kwa umma, alafu tumuhurumie.
Mwizi hata akiwa kijana yako muite tu mwizi. Si ndio? Usianze kusema ni wakabila yetu inapikwa vita. Huyo mtu akiiba anaiba peke yake. Akishikwa anakuwa wakabila fulani.
Tumeumia sana. Pesa kama bunge tunatenga na inakulwa tu.
And Samburu Governor Moses Leron Kulal has extended an olive branch to former Samburu West MP Simeon Leserma after trouncing a petition challenging his election.
We also take this opportunity to wish Leserma, who was the opponent, very well in his life, going forward, probably has ambitions to try something else. And going forward, we have no hard feelings. It was just a way of telling him that he lost.
A buoyant Leron Kulal claimed that the petition was malicious and only meant to derail his development agenda. Irene Mchuma Udim, Channel 1 News Hour.
On the international scene, Spanish Minister Mariano Rajoy has been forced out of office by a vote of no confidence in Parliament. Socialist leader Pedro Sanchez, who filed the motion after Rajoy's party was implicated in a corruption scandal, will become Spain's new Prime Minister.
Rajoy is the first Prime Minister in modern Spanish history to be defeated in a no-confidence motion. The leader of a conservative popular party has been Prime Minister since 2011. During the second day of debate on Friday, Rajoy admitted facing defeat. Socialist leader Pedro Sanchez secured a majority in the vote after gaining support from various smaller parties, including the Basque Nationalist Party. 180 MPs backed the motion, while 169 voted against it, with one abstention. Sanchez says 63-year-old Rajoy had failed to take responsibility for his party's involvement in the scandal, which hit the headlines again last week after one of its former treasurers was handed a 33-year jail sentence. The High Court in Madrid convicted Luis Bárcenas of receiving bribes, money laundering and tax crimes. The case centered on a secret campaign fund, which the PP ran from 1999 until 2005. Many Spanish voters, exasperated by corruption scandals involving the traditional centre-right PP and centre-left socialist parties, have abandoned them for newcomers like the left-wing Podemos and pro-market Ciudadanos, as well as regional parties. Spain's constitution states that the party presenting a no-confidence motion must be prepared to govern and replace the deposed prime minister if a parliamentary majority backs it. The leader, who subsequently suffered two humbling election defeats in 2015 and 2016, is expected to be sworn in tomorrow and to name a cabinet next week, despite the fact that his party commands less than a quarter of seats in Congress.
Seen darkness shattered by light. I've seen joy break after the night. I wanna see it again.
My first single is called See You Again, and the story behind that song is I need a fresh move of God in my life.
I just want to read something on your book. You said that nothing, and I mean nothing in my life turned out the way I thought it would.
SportPesa Super Cup has come to Kenya. Kenya's own Gor, AFC, Sharks and Kakamega Homeboys are getting ready to take on Tanzania's finest, Simba, Yanga, Singida and JKU. The champion will face one of EPL greats, Everton FC at Goodison Park. Don't miss a night of football. Super from the 3rd to 10th of June.